Okay, so in this video, we're going to go through pulmonary volumes and capacities. And so to start off, we just need to have a little graph here. So here we've got our volume in liters. Okay, so volume, this is in liters. It's not a big deal. So down here is 0. We're just going to say here is 5. All right, not something you're going to have to worry about, or I'm going to ask about. Okay, I'll tell you what this dashed line is in a minute. Okay, and so the way this works is that as you're breathing, as you go up, you're inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. We're going to just say we take a big breath in, fill our lungs all the way up, drop down. Okay, all right, that should be enough. So with the pulmonary volumes and capacities, there's actually 4 volumes and 4 capacities. All of the capacities are sums of at least 2 or more volumes. There's one that's the sum of all of them, but we'll get into that. You can probably figure out what it is. Okay, so let's go through each of these. And so I'm not going to actually write out the definitions. The definitions are on the initial PowerPoint here. And plus, I don't have enough room to write everything. My writing gets messy. So I'm just going to highlight and then show you how we've got all of these sums. Okay, so the first one goes from here to here. And so what's happened is we call this inspiratory reserve volume, okay, or IRV. And so you've taken a normal breath of air in. Well, inspiratory reserve volume is how much air could I still get in, right? So I've taken my normal breath of air in. I'm trying to find my little highlighter. Okay, so I've taken my little breath of air in up to here. But I could actually increase my breathing or increase the amount of air in my lungs by that much. And so we call that inspiratory reserve volume. Okay, next we've got this point from here to here. And so I'm just going to write the letters up here. So this is tidal volume. Okay, and so tidal volume is just how much air do you take in during a normal breath of air in and out. And I will write what the acronyms mean here. So inspiratory reserve volume. That I have enough room for. Okay, and then VT is tidal volume. Okay, so we've got so far 2 of our volumes. And so then next, we're going to go from, we're not going to erase anything. Okay, we're going to go from here down to here. All right, and this is what we call expiratory reserve volume. And it's essentially the expiratory, it is the expiratory version of inspiratory reserve volume. So you take a breath of air out, a normal breath. Well, how much more air could you get out? That's expiratory reserve volume, right? So just to be clear, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. So I finish breathing out. Normally I'd start breathing in, but I get to this point here. Well, how much more air could I get out if I was trying to get everything out? Okay. And then finally, we have this one, and it's not usually this big. My scale's off a little bit. That's all right. So we call this residual volume. So residual volume is I take a breath of air out. I get as much air out as I possibly can. Well, there's still air left in my lungs. There will always be air left in your lungs. And so we call this residual volume. Now, unlike the first 3, we can directly measure the first 3, but we cannot directly measure residual volume. You have to use some fancy equipment, some fancy math, and there you go. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a few of these capacities here. And so we're just going to start with kind of the easiest one here. And so we're going to start with total lung capacity. Okay, and it's exactly what it sounds like. And so we fill our lungs all the way up. How much air is in our lungs when we're completely filled up? And so that's total lung capacity. So TLC equals total lung capacity. And this shouldn't be a surprise, and if it is, that's okay. But total lung capacity equals IRV plus, so inspiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. Okay, so that's TLC. So that's the one that has all 4 volumes in it. All right, next we're going to go, we're going to go, I actually, we're going to go here. So I've just finished taking a breath of air out. It's time to breathe in. How much air could I actually get into my lungs if I wanted to? Okay, if I wanted to fill them up all the way. And so this is inspiratory capacity. So IC equals inspiratory capacity. I want you to look for a second, what's the difference between inspiratory capacity and inspiratory reserve volume? And the answer is it's inspiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume. Okay, that's it. All right. And so then next, we're going to do what's called vital capacity here. Okay, so vital capacity, we go from here. So we're filled our lungs all the way up and we go down to here. Okay, so it's essentially the same as this line right here. So if we start here and we go all the way down, that's vital capacity. Okay, and so we're going to say that's VC. So VC equals vital capacity. Okay, and this equals IRV plus tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Okay, I'm going to scroll up just a tiny bit here. All right, and then that leaves one more volume. I guess I need a new color here. We're just going to do it. Oh, yeah, we'll just do it in yellow. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to do this last one. And so this last one starts here at the end of a normal breath out, and it goes all the way down to 0. Okay, and so we call this functional residual capacity. So FRC. Now, I have occasionally seen this as functional reserve capacity, but not very often. It's usually functional residual capacity, and so that's kind of how we'll refer to it. So functional residual capacity, and I believe that the book and the quizzes and all that all say functional residual capacity. And so in this case, as you can see here, it doesn't have anything to do with inspiratory reserve volume or tidal volume. However, it equals expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. And just because it includes residual volume, we can't measure this directly. The same is true of total lung capacity. We have to use some special equipment and some fancy math. All right, but there you go. That is just me drawing out the different pulmonary volumes and capacities. I hope this helps.